All right, time for another Equinox 800 upgrade video. This time we're going all red. Okay, so to get this project started, I had to do some mail order and wait a little bit. So I had to order the shaft in red carbon fiber and the arm cuff system from one vendor. Came in 2 different shipments. And then a short time later, I received the decal for the faceplate. And even after that, I waited for the ear stiffener down here. And lastly, just the little Minelab accessory for the jack on the headphone. Once everything came in, we went ahead and got started. Okay, so I got some new rods in today for the Equinox 800, again from Steve's Detector Rods out of Norman, Oklahoma. I know somebody else that comes from Norman, Oklahoma who's pretty famous, and that is my favorite NASCAR driver. His name is Christopher Bell. He was a great champion in open wheel racing. Now he's up in NASCAR and doing really good. He's in the top in the points right now and always up front, from Norman, Oklahoma as well. So I know Steve had this in stock, so I was able to get it pretty quick. Luckily it shipped right out. When he has to custom make things, you know, it can take a while, but a short while I should say. So we got a few different things going on here. And a card. Nothing else on the box here. Let's see. This first shaft right here. Let's take a look at that one. Oh, nice. Very nice. This is the red carbon fiber. It's a very beautiful look. The light just plays off of it. It's so light and so strong. There's that. Let's see what we got over here. All right. Got a decal. Another business card. And then the upper shaft. It has that same cam lock on there like my other video showed when we did the last upgrade, which I absolutely love this design right here. So nice. And of course his information right here, but it's just a incredibly beautiful, high quality, just piece of art really. It's a work of art. And then you got the cap that screws off if you want to. And we'll show you what's going on with that. If you haven't seen my other video, take a look up on the screen right now, up here, and watch that video. It's another time where we went ahead and did some upgrades to my nephew's Equinox 800. You pull this piece of plastic off here, and this screws right in the back where you unscrewed that plug. Just like this. And this is a counterweight for the big coil. And the reason I say the big coil is if you have the big coil on here, the 11-inch coil bolted up to the front of the machine, and you have your arm where it's supposed to be about right here, it gives a perfect balance, a perfect weight. And right now it's the big coil because in the back here, you can pop this cap off. Again, more details on this on my other video, but these little packages slide out right here, and there's a couple different sizes in here. So together, you have enough weight for the big coil. And if you run just this one by itself in here, you have enough weight for the 6-inch coil. And then if you run this one, you have enough for the aftermarket coils from Coiltech. So for me, I'm mostly going to use the 6-inch coil, and that'll be the fill for me that I need. But anyway, that's a counterweight, guys, right there. That all carbon fiber, again, just a work of art. Beautiful craftsmanship on this. Excited to get this all bolted up to the 800, and excited for my other package to come in from Jeff Herkey for the arm cuff. That'll go on here, and this will be a really nice setup for my Equinox, which is right here. And we'll get it all upgraded with some new parts on there, and it'll be a looker and a go-getter. So there we go. Let's go ahead and watch the mail for the next couple days until the arm cuff gets here, and check back in with you guys when we get that. Okay, so in the mail today, this box showed up. This is from Jeff Herkey, and this is the arm cuff for our custom build here. This came separate from Steve. This is the rubber neoprene part that you can put over the top of the aluminum here for comfort for your arm. So I'm just going to borrow this to show you guys. I elected not to use this in the install. We'll go ahead and put it on and show you what it looks like. But I'll be mailing this back to Steve when I'm done with it. But that is an option that you can get when you buy this system from Jeff. Well, actually, I believe that Steve is the only person right now that is shipping Jeff's arm cuffs. But you might be able to get his stuff directly from him on his eBay account, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's go ahead and open the box up and see what we got here. Okay, so here it is. It's aluminum, and the bottom stand is made of aluminum. There's little rubber feet on there. It has a square feature here with a round hole, and I assume that it's all aluminum. It feels like it's all metal. The arm cuff is a little bit bigger than the one you get stock with the machine, which is nice for a little bit bigger arm. Comes with this stuff here that you can put on the inside. And we talked about this also. This is another option you can do to put this inside there. So anyway, I talked to Jeff, and you know, going back to about 2003 is when he first started making these, and he had broken his arm cuff on his Minelab Explorer XS. And he decided to make his own. So he made one out of aluminum to replace the one that he broke. And over time, it's developed into what you see now. And this is more of a universal design. As we said, it fits a couple different machines. And he does still make one, I think, for the CTX 3030, which you could probably find on eBay. But basically, the Equinox, this is probably about the best arm cuff you're going to find for that. And I like the higher stand, the wider base, and it just doesn't tend to want to tip over as much with this design on here. And it's super lightweight, by the way, and super strong. And I think you can only get these right now through Steve, or maybe through Jeff on his eBay page. I'm not sure about that, though. So anyway, that's all there is to it. You can see it's completely built and ready to go. And it's all basically one piece. All right, so before we get started, you can see I've already went ahead and disconnected the coil wire here. Just unscrew that and pull it off. Flip the machine over, and down here below the control unit, you see there are 4 screws. And I used a Torx bit on my screwdriver. It's a size 15 Torx to get that out. And we'll go ahead and fast forward the footage real quick, but we're going to remove these 4 screws. Okay, so the last one here, go ahead and support the control head so it doesn't fall off on this last one. And there's that. Probably should clean this and everything really nice, as good as you can, before we remount it on the new shaft. And make sure that you notice that when you put this in, this plastic piece right here, it's going to go into a hole on the back of the Steve's rod. So this piece right here will go right into the little hole on the Steve's rod. And you can see that the hole is on the bottom of the shaft. And there will only be one hole on the shaft on that section. It'll be on the bottom. Okay, so on the cuff here, you can see that there's a screw right here going straight down. There's a little rubber piece in here, a rubber grommet down here, and then a wing nut right here. We'll take the wing nut off. And there's a couple different washers on here. You have a lock washer, then a regular fender washer, a round washer, a rubber grommet. Take that off. And you got your stainless steel screw. When you take the stainless steel screw out, a little rubber piece of like heat shrink tubing is in there that's going to fall off. So hold on to that for a second. And then we'll go ahead and grab the Steve shaft, which is right here. This is the bottom, and that means this is the bottom of the cuff, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to choose to mount this. This is the back of the cuff. I'm going to choose to mount this on the third hole. So I'm going to put it in the third hole there. And what I'm going to do first, before I do that, is I'm going to take this piece of shrink tubing here, this rubber tubing, and carefully just poke it through that hole there, straight through to the other side. And if you have trouble with that and it goes in and you can't, you know, it didn't go where you wanted it to, just unscrew the back and just pop it right out and try again. But it should go right in there, no problem. And then once you get up, I'll tell you what, before you even slide this over, take your screw and just make sure that your rubber piece is lined up good here, and you can see it is. It's lined up perfect. So then I will take the back towards the back of the shaft here, slide it up till I can line it up right over that hole. Then I'm going to put the screw through the other side here, straight through. And don't forget your order of parts here. First piece is the rubber grommet, and that kind of goes right down in to the recessed area of the metal. It'll fit in that hole down there once you tighten it. I wouldn't really worry about getting it down there like I just did there, because the washer will push it down there. The next one is the round fender washer. And you have your lock washer, which is the weird one that's kind of offset a little bit, small. And then your stainless steel wing nut. And we'll tighten this up. And you're probably going to need a screwdriver to hold this side while you tighten the wing nut. So that feels really good already. That's really on there. And again, we have the hole on the bottom. And the next thing we're going to do is take the control head and mount it right back here like we did when we took off the other one. Before we do that, I'm going to go clean this up real quick. Like I told you earlier, we'll get this really super clean, and then we'll go ahead and take the next step. Okay, so I cleaned up the control head a little bit. Got the dirt off of it, and we're going to go ahead and mount that back on. Let's start with the bottom of the control head and look for the hole down here. And on this bottom piece, you can see there's a slanted area and kind of a flatter area. You want to use the rounded, more flat looking end towards the back. And the slanted, sleek section goes towards the front. Try to get this little grommet right here into that hole. It should just kind of drop right in there. And once it's in there, it should stay right there. It's in there pretty good. And then we'll take the control head. The screen goes towards the arm cuff. Let's get that on here. And there was no washers to worry about with these, but the screws, you want to go ahead and put the screws back in. We'll do one in each corner here real quick just to hold it, because I'm trying to do this with one set of hands, which is a little tricky. All right, tighten this down. Super easy on this. What an easy install. All these upgrades are really easy to do. And it helps that you're buying upgraded parts that are built to be easy to install as well. So we'll go ahead and put the other two screws in here in a second, but you can see that's what it's going to look like. And already what a huge difference that is, just visually. All right, let's get these other two screws put in real quick. Okay, and just like I talked about in my last video, my last upgrade video on the Equinox, you do not want to tighten these too tight. They don't need to be very tight, actually. They're not doing anything except just holding the control head on, which has very limited amount of force on it. So just make sure that they're just tight enough, but not over tight. There's no need to stress the plastic out and break anything. And once they're just snug, you should be fine. And there's that. All right, we're about halfway done here. Looking good. Hey, so I got a couple things in the mail today. Finally showed up here to get this project wrapped up and get this video done. I waited, man, it seems like 15 to 20 days to get these parts. So One of them was this coil ear stiffener. It's 3D printed in red. I liked it because it had the red color and the white logo on there, and so it took a long time to get that. It took a long time to get this accessory here from Minelab, which is the adapter cable for waterproof headphones. So it goes in here with a little rubber O-ring and screws in the back, just like your waterproof headphones would. And then you just kind of run this back to the back here and mount it at the arm cuff area, and then you could run your regular 1/4 inch headphones in here, like your Gray Ghosts or whatever you want to do. Nice to have that option. And then lastly, I got a little bling here. Got some carbon fiber red faceplate covers in here. They kind of match the look of the red on the carbon fiber here, so we'll get that put on and see how that looks. But these 3 little upgrades are going to be kind of fun, and we'll go ahead and get started right now with at least putting the coil ears on, the coil ear stiffener. We've talked about it before in other videos, and I just had a guy over here, a visitor came by and was kind of looking at my stuff here and hanging out in the office, and I was showing him some of my collection and some of the things I've dug over the years, and he's one of the guys in my metal detector club. And when he saw this, and he uses an Equinox, he told me a story about how he broke his ears off pretty quick. Right when he got his machine, one of them broke off, and it took him 2 months to get it replaced by Minelab. That was a very common issue back then, and may still be, I don't know. But to avoid that, we're going to go ahead and put one of these coil ear stiffeners on there. And it can only go on one way. I know that there's a thin side and a thicker side to all these. The thicker side goes forward, so just drops right in here. And you can see it's a perfect fit in there. And what it does is it sits on the outside of the ears here. See what that looks like? Sits on the outside of the ears there, and maybe I'll put a close-up picture on the video for you of that. But that's what it does, is when you push these out, they can't go any further than these because they're there for fortification. So we'll go ahead and put these little washers back in and mount this thing back up. That's it, done. All right, let's open this up real quick. When I bought this, it came with 2. I only wanted 1, but it's nice to have a backup. So here are the decals. What we're gonna do is I have a couple alcohol pads here. I use one of these just to clean this surface off before I put any kind of a decal on there. I'm not so worried about the screen because this doesn't stick on the screen. So let's go ahead and wipe that down. Get that residue off there from the alcohol. Okay, it's nice and clean now. I'm not sure how I feel about this having the holes cut out down here like that. It's going to be a little tricky to get on there, but let's give it a shot. I got an extra one here if I screw it up, so. I think I'm going to try and line it up down here first. This is not going to be easy. It's a little tricky here. So I got the bottom kind of mocked up down there where I want it. And I'll sneak up to the top. It looks pretty good. All right, there it is. The finished product. It went on just nice. I used these holes down here to kind of line it up. And it's kind of a cool look. Definitely add some bedazzle to our red theme. All right, here's the accessory cable mounted onto the arm cuff. So I bought this little clamp at a hardware store. Look down below in the description and I'll give you the part numbers for that and the information but I found it at my local Ace Hardware. It's just a little hose clamp that goes around, and it really grabs this thing nice with that rubber in there. And then I drilled a 1/4 inch hole through this section halfway down and got a nice round stainless steel button head screw, screwed it in there, 1/4 inch. And then bought a 1/4-20 locking nut stainless steel and a locking washer as well, stainless steel. And just mounted it right here. And it's a great option because it's towards the back, it's away from this counterweight, and it doesn't impede with being able to take the wing nut off, which, you know, if you want to take the wing nut off quickly in the field with no tools, you could just spin it right off and break the machine down and throw it in your backpack, or maybe you're on an airplane on carry-on. So I didn't really want to put a locking nut on this. So we were able to accomplish both things here. And this is a great option for me as a right-handed detectorist. I kind of snuck to the right side over here. I liked it being over here, but you could put it on this side if you wanted. But I really like everything about this whole mounting option here. It's going to be a great solution for me anyway. So again, part numbers for the screws and the rubber clamp down in the description below, but that's a done deal. All right, this project is finally done. The Equinox 800 blinged out in red for you. So we got the shaft from Steve's. We unboxed that, put the counterweight system on, installed the handle, and we had to wait in the mail for a little bit for the arm cuff to come in, but we got that, put all that on super easy. Had to wait for some other things. I had to wait for the coil ear stiffener system down here. Finally got that, put that on, and got a decal for the faceplate in red carbon fiber. Installed that, and that was really easy to put on. I probably made it look a little harder in the video than it actually was. It's pretty easy. So anyway, then the last thing was we had that cable that converts the 1/8 inch headphone into a 1/4 inch back here. You just saw that section. This thing is done. I took it down to the dealer where I bought it at, and there was a couple other customers in the store. One of them had just bought an 800, and they were wowed by this thing. They couldn't believe it. They said it was like a Ferrari, or one guy said a Formula One car. Again, I'm very happy with this. It's not just for looks, it's for form and function. It makes it stronger, lighter, swings better. Highly recommend it. Hope you'll do it. Thanks for hanging out. I hope that you'll stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget, we got the Minelab Manticore coming out pretty soon. As soon as I get my hands on it, I promise you we'll have all kinds of good video content for you. If you're gonna do something like this and you wanna do your own upgrade on an Equinox 800 or 600, I would love for you to take the time to go down below in the video description, find my email, and send me some photos of your upgrade. I'd like to see what you guys did. And anything else you want to tell me, you know, in the comments down below, leave a comment. I answer all the comments, and I'll catch up with you real soon. Take care.